Man, I mean, I swear this series is shonen as fuck. I prove time and time that this series is trash, and it's just like, okay, I like to address that. By the way, the king is back. I like to address the, Attack on Titan or Alatards. That Attack on Titan season 3 had the most action, which it does. Some of the most action. I'm not sure about the most. Because season 4 actually does have a lot of action. It has a bunch of mindless action too. It's just like, what is happening? Like, at least season 3 was set up to, okay, it makes sense why there's a bunch of this shit going on. Season 4 was just, throw everything out of the window, just a big war out of nowhere. And it just wasn't good. Let me turn this off. Let me turn my notifications off. Anyways, so like I was saying, Attack on Titan is just, it feels like pure shonen. And one thing I can't agree with, why it's 17 plus, is because of the violence and the profanity. Now, people don't want to have their kids watching something where it's a lot of cursing. Okay, A, right? I can get that, all right? And then B, the violence and the gore. Literally, Attack on Titan feels like a shonen, like a heavy shonen, like a Naruto type of, because Naruto had mystery too, but that doesn't mean that Naruto was all about plot. Like I said, I would take Naruto any day over Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan literally is just a shonen with blood and gore here and there. So that's the only seinen aspect about it, or the only, I guess, serious tone as to why a lot of things were muted, or censored. But it's literally just a shonen. The main character gets all the power-ups. The main character's the Messiah. He's this, he's that. He doesn't know why he time travel. He just did it just because. I mean, it's so many plot holes. But this is greatness to people. This is peak fiction. This is the greatest anime of all time. This isn't even better than Naruto. This isn't even better than Bleach. I will take no. I take that back. It's better than Bleach. This isn't even better than One Piece. At least Oda. I know Oda. Oda, which is the author of One Piece, he works hard as hell, bro. I mean, yes, he's milking the series at this point with 1,000+ chapters, but Oda works super hard, man, to be able to just at least put out this many chapters at such an old age, right? He's still working. He's still working his ass off, even if it isn't the most quality. He's just pumping out a bunch of quantity, right? Oda works his ass off. I would take One Piece any day over Attack on Titan. Any day. Any day. Attack on Titan is literally like the most generic shonen. I swear, the main character, he reminds me of 4 characters. Light Yagami, Lelouch, Naruto, and let me see. What other character do I have? Oh, and Kaneki. I mean, you can't tell me that he's any different. He's unique at all in any way. He doesn't change throughout the series. His priorities just, go in a different direction, but he does the same thing that he was going to do anyways. And he isn't smart. You know how a character will change and okay, I learned from this mistake, I'm going to do this instead, and we get to see it happening. No, he just looked into the future. He was as dumb as he was when he was younger. He just became edgier, and people were like, greatest MC of all time, greatest main character of all time. One of the most garbage. I mean, look, it really doesn't get much worse too. It really like, I don't like Ichigo, but I don't know, bro. I honestly, you know what? Ichigo is just stupid. Honest, Ichigo is just super bad. But damn, man, Eren is a close follow-up to Ichigo. I mean, damn, a terrible main character, terrible side characters. Like, okay, here we go. Let's debunk this. Come on, man. Wait until season 4, man. Mikasa has not done anything the entire series. Armin was just there to be a plot device. Every time the author needed to explain something to his audience, like if you read the manga, it would be more apparent. But every time the author needs to like info dump and look up what info dump, I want you to look up what info dumping is. Info dumping is just a lazy way the author can get his point across as to why something works or why something is happening. So like, let's say in a fight, right? In a fight, this is an example. A way of info dumping is okay. Um, let's say a fight in Jujutsu Kaisen. I remember this one fight, right, where I think it was the main character, right? He was using his techniques and they weren't working, and then as soon as he started explaining them, and we got like okay, you know, explanation as to what the technique does, it started being effective, right? But that's not what info dumping is. The fact that it's not being effective, that's not info dumping. The fact that they're explaining it through a fight scene, which is the fight, fight scenes should last about 2 to 4 minutes, 10 minutes at most. But the fact that they're explaining it through a fight scene, trying to make it make sense because they didn't like foreshadow it or explain it before, is just lazy. And it takes away from us seeing the fight scene, right? Because okay, after you got all this build up where okay, the characters are progressing, which should happen in a story, the plot progression is happening, or the story progression. I don't really like to say plot because I feel like that word is overused now, and people just, oh my god, plot. I watched this because of the plot. You don't know what you're talking about. And like I said, Attack on Titan doesn't have an actual plot. It literally, not only does it change its priorities or its main plot throughout every season, but Isayama just kept milking the series, and he didn't know where he really wanted to go with the series. You can't tell me that Attack on Titan had a real plot and the series went nowhere with it. It literally just kept raising questions like, oh, why does Zeke have this power up? Like, remember when he I think he had the power to call upon some people or some ancestors or some shit. That shit came out of nowhere. Like, he just kept introducing stuff without answering questions. It just kept like the story just kept changing. Like, he didn't address the previous story at all, nor did he at least, answer questions. I mean, the author didn't know what he was doing with the series. So how could you say I like Attack on Titan for the plot when the author himself literally, and like I said, if you watch the anime, you might enjoy the anime because of its pretty colors, and you might get hyped because of the the fucking songs or whatever. Some of the songs are actually lit because this is a well produced anime, but it isn't well written. It isn't well thought out. It isn't, the characters aren't well written. The story isn't well written, but it is a well produced anime from both Mappa and I forgot the other company. But yeah, I mean, honestly, you can't say that you like Attack. Like, I swear, the only people who've said they like Attack on Titan, I haven't spoken to like a manga reader who actually likes Attack on Titan, because they know. Like, I swear, if you've been reading the manga, and I haven't been reading it since 2009, but I've been reading the manga since 2013. It was published back in 2009, but I was reading it in 2013. If you've read the manga and you have not watched the anime, you've read it up from what the anime covers from seasons 1 through season 4, or chapters 1 through 130, I think it's 139 or something. If you've read up from chapters 1 through 139, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's no way that you can say this is a quality anime. First of all, the art is terrible. That's just first of all. It everything feels like you can't tell what's going on. Like, because of the art, it's just like everything is misleading. And then, like I said, the story progression, it's like Attack on Titan tries to be something that it's not. It tries to implement these elements, but it executes them poorly. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but it executes them poorly. Um, it's like none of the main characters or none of the characters in general are thought out. None of them have character development. I would say that Rainer has the most character development, but he doesn't even feel like an actual character. He just feels like he was just important for season 2, and then getting Aaron to come here in season 3, if you know what I'm talking about. And in season 4, he's just like, oh, well, his story has beautiful handwriting. I'm a simp. I mean, I guess. It's just like, and then another thing that Attack on Titan does, so its art is terrible, its story progression is terrible. It retcons a lot of things. It has poor, like it has foreshadowing, but it doesn't do it correctly. The only thing that was foreshadowed good, and this is what I mean. You should be able to set up a mystery that's like that's solvable. If you actually read what like authors do, like great authors like Stephen King, Togashi, uh, um, Kentaro Miura, right? If you research them and just watch an interview on them, I swear, just watch an interview on what Togashi says and see how to like actually see how storytelling works is what I'm saying. So yeah, so in order to set up a proper mystery, you need to be able to foreshadow it. Your mystery, if your mystery is cheap enough that when you foreshadow it, it's and it's so easy to figure out, like, or no, if your mystery is so cheap that if you don't foreshadow it, but it's so easy to figure out if you did, then that just means you have a cheap mystery. That's just your writing. That's your fault. But a good way of foreshadowing, one thing that Attack on Titan has done good in terms of foreshadowing is foreshadowing that Titans are actually humans trapped inside of Titan bodies, right? And you know how like dumb ones or non-intelligent Titans are basically Titans who haven't eaten people. I'm pretty sure that was foreshadowed too. But basically, they foreshadowed this in season 1 that Titans are humans, with Aaron turning into a Titan, Annie turned into a Titan. You get what I'm saying. And then in season 2, they confirmed it basically with, I think, I forgot the guy's mom. I think it was Connie. Is his name Connie? Is that the guy's name? Connie. Let me look this up real quick. Let me look this up real quick. Let me look this up. Yeah, his name is Connie. Okay, I was right. So yeah, Connie's mom was a Titan, and we got to see that because I think he was holding up some sort of picture of his mom, and then the Titan looked exactly like her. So that pretty much confirmed it for people who didn't know. Even though you should, I feel like you should have been able to figure this out since season 1, because Aaron did turn into a Titan, and so did Annie. But that's besides the point. The point is, it set up a solvable mystery that not everybody figured out. That's how you write things. Now, it wasn't a super hard mystery to figure out, but it was well foreshadowed for its story. I feel like, you know, it's just like, honestly, and it's another thing. Attack on Titan tries to seek validation by killing off characters, right? And the thing is, it kills off non-important characters. I can name a few. Hanji. Um, I think, I'm not sure if Jean died, but everybody got revived at the end. I'm pretty sure, or some shit like that, if I can remember. I'm not. Don't take my word for it. If you haven't read it, don't take my word. But Hanji. Who else died? Who else died? Erwin. Erwin wasn't important to the story at all. He was just a plot device to get everybody to go to the bunker just so that they can figure out they're trapped on an island. He was not important to the story. He didn't get any character development at all. He was just supposed. They tried to set him up as this tragic character, but it didn't work out because it's like they didn't give us any like real character development and why he's changing and how he's not so selfish anymore. They just didn't set it up properly. So Hanji dies, Erwin dies. Who else dies? What is the person's name? I always forget his name. Kenny. Kenny is so forgettable. Kenny dies literally right after he's done giving Levi the syringe. He was just a plot device just so he can give Levi the syringe so they can revive Armin so the plot can keep progressing. That's literally it. He was not important. There are so many unimportant characters to the story that aren't even fucking supporting characters. There's main characters that are unimportant. Like Armin. Armin's the smartest one. Armin is literally, and that's another thing. Armin is such a plot device that he will literally keep the plot going by himself. He's so smart that without like actually doing research, like Hanji, she be putting in work, man. Zoe, Hanji, she be putting in work. She be reading all her books without putting in as much research and as much of a headache as Hanji does. He just figures out everything on his own because the author says so. Just because the author says, let me info dump through Armin. Eren is a terrible main character. He's stupid. He's annoying. The voice actor, he may be a good voice actor, but I hated his character. Like, I hated when he voice acted Eren because all he would do was cry. It was just so annoying. I mean, if I thought English Eren could get worse, honestly, I think Japanese Eren is just as worse. Not even joking. His voice just sounds, I guess, better. But Mikasa is just literally a cardboard cutout of any female character ever in anime history, except she's supposed to be like this like how Annie is like, she's like that character where she's like a female badass that can hold her own, and she's basically like the woman that is empowered. That's basically how they try and do Mikasa, but Mikasa's just there just to be there. Let's just be honest. She has no importance. She just wants Eren so bad. And it's just like, how could you take this show seriously? Another thing I would like to point out, and this will end all the Attack on Titan, all you slanders in my comments, all you morons on that one video where I got like 400 some views. You guys are morons, all right? And the people who, I don't want to say the people who agree with me, because I'm not going to be biased and just say, oh, because you agree with me, you're my guy, man. No. The people who actually agree with me are actually cool. They actually type a well thought out comment. They don't just type some bullshit and say, oh man, you're just a fucking Attack on Titan hater, man. No, we're not 12. We're not going to do that. They actually say, oh, well, even if sometimes I think I've had some comments where they don't actually agree with me, but they give a well thought out comment, and it's not just something stupid like, oh, you're a hater of Attack on Titan, man. No, I was a fan of this series at one point. I was a fan. I would say back in season 1, I was a fan. I was waiting for season 2 to come out. Found out season 2 came out. I read the manga. I think it was back in 2013 when like 25 chapters or so was out. I read the manga, caught up, was disappointed. The anime came out, forgot completely what happened in the manga, right? Because I only read it once. And it was disappointing. Then when I watched the anime, because people said, oh man, Attack on Titan is really good now. Because I dropped it back in 2013. I'm not going to name, but it was 2 people who told me Attack on Titan is supposed to be so quote unquote good, right? Gave it another try. Watched season 2 fully this time instead of just reading some chapters of it. Gave it another try. Didn't like it. Gave season 3 a try. Was confused. Like when I first watched season 3, I was just like, well, what was the point of us watching seasons 1 through 3 anyways if they were just going to be trapped on this island all that time? That's what I was thinking when I first watched season 3. And then I was gathering my thoughts. I was like, you know what? Let me go back and reread this. Let me actually read up to seasons 3 so I can get a better understanding than just watching the anime. And I did that. And I found so many plot holes. I've already named them and I've already addressed them in so many videos. Go watch my other videos. And then this is another thing I would like to bring up. Sasha. Sasha's such an unimportant character, but so many people were mad when she passed away in season 4 because you don't actually watch this anime because you like the story. All these, I swear, Twitter ruined. Not only has Twitter ruined anime, but just media in general was ruined because of how popular anime has gotten. The more popular it's gotten, I can name so many true anime fans that I kick it with. So many true anime fans that actually own manga, that play Pokemon, that love Pokemon, right? That has cards, has all the games, has owned everything. Just like me, I've owned, like, when I first started collecting Pokemon cards, it started from Gen 3, I believe, with Heart Gold and Soul Silver, or Gold and Silver. I used to collect all the cards up until, like, I think Gen 5. After Gen 5, I wasn't collecting cards. And then I opened like some packs of Gen 6, which was X and Y. But that's besides the point. I can name so many true anime fans who know what they're talking about and didn't just hop on the bandwagon when it became popular. I put my boy on. Now, yes, I'm not going to say his name, but one of my boys, he watched Pokemon, right? But I put him on to anime. And he's liked it ever since. He's not a fake anime fan. He's not just one of these guys jumping on the bandwagon. We have been watching anime since about, I think, kindergarten or around that time. Because when I was watching Inuyasha, I was like around like 5 or 6, right? Around that age. And I would say my first 3 anime or my first 4 that I've watched were Inuyasha, Bleach, Naruto, and Pokemon. Those were all my first anime. And then I've seen Soul Eater. I've seen some Slice of Life, but I can't name the Slice of Life. But these are like the anime that I remember watching at such a young age, right? Because they stood out to me at the time. I love Slice of Life, by the way, too. So I just can't name any series that I mean, I can name one, but it's not a good series. Erased. It's like kind of like a mystery thriller, but that's besides the point. It's not really a slice of life, but you can consider it one. But yeah, those are like the first few anime I watched. I'm not one of you fake anime frauds on Twitter. Just hyping up everything. Record of Ragnarok, all these garbage shows, all these, I'm gonna read the Record of Ragnarok manga too. I'm going to read that. I'm not gonna watch the anime. Don't tell me to watch the anime. I'm not going to watch the anime. I'm going to read it, and I'm just gonna expose it. I'm going to expose it, if I need to. And it's just like, what is it doing that's so unique and original? If you're not gonna do that, at least do a concept right. Like, I was reading a comment on YouTube, on a YouTube video of Record of Ragnarok, and they were just like, what has anime come to? Everything is a slideshow nowadays. Like, they were just saying that it was just a slideshow, and it is. Like Attack on Titan, every scene, it just feels like, oh, this character's thinking, and then, oh, flip to the next slideshow. Oh, there's some animation going on. There's some fighting. There's some action. Flip to this anime. Like, that's what it feels like, a fucking slideshow. I mean, real anime fans should know what I'm talking about. This is a rant. Please, please, please. If you feel like you have questions, just watch the entire video through and drop your questions down in the comment section. I'm done with this anime review, and I'm out.